In the first episode of What If, Peggy Carter switched roles with Steve Rogers, but what happens when one MCU character takes the place of another in a completely different storyline? Well, if that man is T'Challa, it can change the fate of the entire universe. This alternate universe begins when Yondu's Ravagers accidentally kidnap T'Challa as a young boy instead of Peter Quill, the spawn of Ego. Young T'Challa wants to explore the galaxy. But the choice to stay with Yondu means Wakanda is left without its prince. And though T'Challa loves his homeland, he believes it's been destroyed thanks to Yondu's lies. Decades later, this Star-Lord arrives on Morag to retrieve the orb, which houses the Power Stone, just as Peter Quill did, but the story diverges pretty quickly, and not just from the lack of dancing. Korath the Pursuer arrives, but he's now starstruck at meeting T'Challa's famous hero and winds up joining the Ravagers himself after they're both rescued by a much friendlier Yondu. The funniest thing about the episode is how much better T'Challa is at being Star-Lord than Quill was. During celebratory drinks, it's revealed that Star-Lord saved Drax's family from a Kree invasion, and even more impressively, Thanos abandons his plans for genocide after one convincing conversation with T'Challa. Did anyone try that before? The Mad Titan is now just another member of T'Challa's crew with no interest in the Infinity Stone they just obtained. T'Challa and his Ravagers act much like Robin Hood, stealing only to do good. Nebula knows this, and at her behest, they engage in a heist to retrieve the embers of Genesis from Taneleer Tyban, the Collector, who has taken over from the newly reformed Thanos as the galaxy's most feared crime lord. The embers can heal a dying planet within minutes, and with them, they could feed galaxies full of people. Yondu initially thinks going up against the Collector is suicide, but he never could say no to T'Challa, so the whole crew is soon traveling to nowhere. Since the Black Order is doing the Collector's security, Thanos and Korath will create a distraction as Nebula and Yondu sneak T'Challa in while posing as sellers looking to unload the orb. T'Challa is supposed to steal the embers out from the Collector's nose, but after he gets waylaid for a moment by the infamous Marvel Comics creation Howard the Duck, he finds a Wakandan spacecraft. Triggered by the necklace he still wears, a hologram of his father, T'Chaka informs him that not only does Wakanda still exist, but they have been looking for their lost prince all this time. He's furious with Yondu, who believes that his surrogate son belongs amongst the stars and not on Earth, but before they can reconcile, they have to fight the Collector. Through a series of double and triple crosses engineered by T'Challa and Nebula, they eventually recover the embers. T'Challa then fights the Collector, who uses both Malekith's dagger and Hela's Necrosword before being defeated with the help of Yondu and the Collector's enslaved assistant, Karina, who unleashes all the beings in his collection on him as punishment. T'Challa and Yondu escape in the Wakanda ship and reconcile. T'Challa belongs everywhere, so he just has to figure out where he wants to be. And that's home. Knowing that these are the final moments we will get with Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa, it's hard not to choke up as he returns to Wakanda and introduces the family he found to the one he always had. T'Chaka wonders just how Yondu wound up with his son, but T'Challa admits, "I was lost, and Yondu found me." But as one father and son reunite in Wakanda, so do another. But this time in a darkened Dairy Queen where a cassette-wearing Peter Quill is mopping up for the night. His father, the celestial ego, Kurt Russell, has finally found him, and this reunion just might bring about the end of the world.